Welcome to Fabulosity For You, and my name is Angie. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please click the subscribe button, then click the notification bell so when I upload videos, you will be the first to know. Like this video and make a comment. This channel is about fashion, relationship advice, and lifestyle. And this is not your first time visiting my channel. Well, welcome back, my queens, and welcome back, my kings. And welcome to all of my fabulous ones. Welcome. Okay, so today I'm going to do the review of the Braxtons. And I decided to do the review of the Braxtons because I love the Braxton sisters. And Toni Braxton is my favorite. And I love Tamar Braxton because she loves to bring the drama. Okay, and this season is supposed to be hot, okay, on fire. And guess what? It is really giving. Okay, so we're going to be doing the Braxtons. I'm going to be doing the review season 2, episode 1 through 3. Okay? But before I get into all of that, go get your drink of choice and go get your snack of choice and come back and sit with your girl, Angie. Email, text, call. You better send a letter in a bottle, baby, and let everybody know that Angie is on the line. Okay, so before I begin, I just want to say, I think I'm going to do a giveaway. Yes, I think I'm going to do a giveaway. I wanted to wait till I was 5,000 subscribers, but right now I am over 4,500 subscribers, and I am feeling like doing a giveaway. Okay, we can do a giveaway now, and we can do a giveaway when we reach that 5,000 subscribers. That's why you have to stay tuned to Angie, because you don't never know when I'm going to say I'm going to do a giveaway. So I'm going to give the details of the giveaway very soon. So look out for that. Okay, so tonight, I'm drinking out of another Halloween cup with an orange straw. Okay, so I can't wait to get into this video because the Braxtons, baby, have been clowning, okay? They have been clowning. So I'm in my den/office, and I am just sitting back today, and I have my Juicy Couture on that I showed you guys. Jogging suit. It's been a cold day today, and I just been having a lot going on. I told you guys, but right now I'm just straight up chilling. And so let's get into this. Okay, so let's get into this by talking about the Braxton sisters, each of them, how they looked this season. And we're going to start with Toni Braxton. Toni is a living legend. Looks absolutely fabulous. It looks like she lost her weight. Her skin, her face was very, very thin. And she's looking like the rock star that she is, honey. Her hair is laid. Her face look good. Her body look good. She do not look her age. My girl Toni don't look her age. Okay? And she's giving this season. Now, her skin looked like she did bleach it. It's awfully light. But that's okay, because that's what these celebrities do. They bleach their skin. But at the end of the day, she looks fabulous. My girl Tamar this season, she got her breasts done. She got her butt done, honey. And she's looking good. Her hair looks good. And she looking fabulous. Trina, her hair, last season, I just did not like her hair. This season, I love the bob. She has a bob, and the bob is bobbing, okay? Every time her hair moves, her bob is moving. And that's how you know your bob is giving. Because when you do like this, your bob is supposed to be moving right with your head, honey. And that's what it's doing. Her hair looks fabulous. I like how she looks this season. I'm going to say Towanda, girl, bye, girl, why? All right, everybody these days got alopecia. And I'm not making fun of nobody because that's nothing to make fun of. But at the end of the day, just because you have alopecia don't mean you can't wear your wig sometimes, okay? She just don't have the face for it, the hair for it. She look like a doggone fool. I'm quite sure her sisters probably told her that. And her man should have told her that. Because it's not cute. And even though you have alopecia, don't mean you have to always have a bald head. She never had a bald head. She wasn't even wearing wigs. Weaves. She was wearing wigs. Okay, so I'm sorry. It's okay to have alopecia. I'm not talking about that. But I'm sorry. If you don't have the head to wear a bald head and you a celebrity on TV, then why? She copied off her sister. Now, it was a reason why she did. I think she did it for Tracy. Okay, but even Tracy coming up out of her grave and saying, girl, put a wig on your head. She looked a hot mess. She looks a hot mess. We're going to talk about Miss Evelyn. Miss Evelyn, oh my God, girl. How your face looking younger than your daughter's? That's when you know you're just doing way too much. Okay, Evelyn is well in her 70s. And she has so much makeup on. Her face look younger than Toni Braxton. And Toni Braxton is almost 60 years old. Okay. Her neck looks okay with her face. But that hair, she got that hairdo. She got the Farrah Fawcett hairdo, honey, flipped up from back in the 70s with a young face and an old body. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Sometimes you got to let it go. Give it to your daughters. Okay? Let them have it. You had your run. But she just look, I just think it just look tripped out that you in your 70s. Your daughter, your oldest daughter is damn near 60. And your face look younger than hers. Next. Okay. So, the season opens up where they all are meeting for lunch. Trina is talking to her husband. And she's saying she don't see her sisters. They don't talk. This is the first time they got together. And it's always because they're filming. Okay? And so she's like, I don't like that, but I'm happy to get together with my sisters. So they all come together, and Trina and Towanda have on the same dress. I don't know how that happened. That's how you know they have not talked. Because sister's gonna say, well, girl, I'm gonna wear this on the episode when we first start. I'm gonna put this dress on. I'm gonna have this on. And baby, they came in the same dress. So you know they ain't been talking. Everybody comes in. Tamar the last one to come in, honey. And let me say this. Tamar is one of the producers of this show. Okay. Let me add that in there. She come in, and right away it's chaos. She was like, you guys gave me assist and deceased. Assist and I think it's called assist and not deceased, but assist and deceased. I don't know. Assist and the deceased, okay? And you messing with my business, you messing with my money. And so Trina was like, my name wasn't on there. And Toni was like, I didn't do anything. I didn't do that. And she was like, yes, you did, Toni. And she was like, no, I didn't. She was like, yes, you did. She said, I don't appreciate that of you guys not supporting me and my business. And Toni was like, hold up now. Are you saying Toni has never supported you? Are you saying that? And she was like, you didn't support me in this moment. Wait a minute, hold up. Are you saying Toni did not support you? And she said, I'm saying Toni did not support me in this. Let me tell you something. You messing with a heavyweight. Okay? I'm Toni now. You messing with a heavyweight, Tamar. Be careful how you talking to me. I'm like, okay, we got a heavyweight in the house, baby. Little Toni was standing up, baby. She the big sister. Put some respect on my name. And I feel her with that. You the big sister. Put some respect on my name. She the one that have all of this going on. She might be the producer, but honey, she is the picture and the frame. It would not be a Braxton if it wasn't for Toni Braxton. Okay? So, Toni jumped up and got in her face, baby. I thought they was going to fight. But at the end of the day, they all are upset. And Toni was like, I believe her name, I forgot their niece's name. I don't know if it's Ashlee, but I'm just not going to say her name because I forgot her name. But their brother Michael has a daughter. And she came out on TikTok not too long ago, and this is what she said.
So I'm 16. I'm at my aunt's house, and when I leave, I'm there for the summer. Her partner decides, her husband at the time decides to start sexting me. So sexting in a sexual manner. Okay? There was nothing physical that happened. Absolutely nothing physical. However, when my parents first brought it up to my aunt, she was there for me, very like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. And as the years have evolved, that has turned into, it's your fault. It's turned into, you were old enough to know right from wrong. And it's turned into something physical happened and you did it. And for me, that's mind-boggling to me, because if there was something that was physical that happened, and I'm 16 years old, this makes this person a right.
And so when I heard what she said on TikTok, I was like, that's nobody but Trina and her old raggedy deceased ex-husband, Gay. Now, I don't like talking about people that are deceased. But in this case, we're going to have to talk about it because it's being brought up. I knew that's who it was, okay? And Toni was acting like, well, we really didn't know that. What happened? Oh, you knew what happened. You just didn't want Tamar spilling the beans on this, on the Braxtons. So Tamar was the only one in the family that supported the niece, okay? And so she invited her to be on her podcast to talk about her being essayed and all of the things. And everybody is upset about it because they feel like they're trying to take up for Trina. Okay, so after they met, Tamar met up with her niece. And her niece now lives in, I want to say, Spain. And she's been over in Spain for years. She left for Spain because she couldn't deal with the fact that her family at first was acting like they supported her. And then all of a sudden they was acting like, honey, she the one that messed around with Trina Man when Trina Man essayed her. Girl, bye. And Tamar said she been through the same thing, and her sisters and family did not support her, and she wanted to make sure she supported her and give her a platform to talk about what happened to her. And so she paid for her to come to Spain, and she took her to this nice restaurant. They had drinks or whatever, and she just was trying to catch up with her and tell her that she supports her and she loves her. And kudos for Tamar. Because when you've been in a situation like that and you don't have support from your family, it's jacked up. Okay? It's jacked up. And Tamar knows how that is because she's been through it. Okay? And she just want to make sure that her niece knows that she loves her and she's there for her, despite of what everybody else thinks. So she asked her, do you think you'll ever come back to the United States? And she was like, no. I'm working there. I'm doing acting. I'm modeling. I'll never come back to the United States. So then they started talking about what everybody's doing. So Toni, the living legend, I'm giving her props because give people their flowers while they're here. Toni, and she is the living legend. Toni, the living legend, she has a show out in Vegas that she is doing with the comedian Frederick the Entertainer. It's supposed to be very good. She's been doing it now for almost a year, and it's been very successful. So kudos to you, Toni. Toni always got a job, baby. Let me tell you about Toni. Toni stay relevant. Toni always working, honey. Toni always doing her thing. Tamar has a lot going on. She just put out a CD. She's touring with October London. She has her own podcast. She's been on the Queen Courts. Tamar has been all over social media. She keeps a job, honey. That's the hardest working chick, honey. She got it going on and always keep a job, okay? I think she's going to be, as I said, she's going to be touring. Trina is a business person, so she's always got something going on. So Trina got her real estate license and she's selling homes. I believe she's coming out with some type of, she had the bar chick. I don't know if she still has it, but she has hot sauce, barbecue sauce. And I believe she's coming out with some type of alcohol. I'm not quite sure, but she's coming out with something along those lines. Towanda is doing acting. I saw her in several movies on Tubi, and she had a wig on. She had a wig on. Okay, but on the show, she don't want to have a wig. But anyway, she is engaged. She's about to get married. I think she's been with her man for a lot of years, and he finally popped the question. And she's acting like this is her first marriage, okay? Girl, you've been married, got children, and a t-shirt to prove it, honey. Divorce and all of the things. But this is the first time she's acting like she's been married every minute. I'm engaged, I'm getting married, I'm engaged, I'm glad she's getting married and she's happy, but god damn, are you that frantic with every minute you talking about you are engaged? But I got to give her some credit because she kept a man with a bald head, okay? So I'm not mad at her, all right? So basically, Mama I think she has a cookbook and she's writing a book. So she got things going on. So I'm glad that this season they're out here putting out things that they're doing. Because when you are on a reality show, you need to promote. And so they never done that before, and now they're doing it, and I'm glad that they're doing it. I really love the Braxton sisters. I felt like last season, the sister Tracy had passed away, and the show was all about, that season was about Tracy. And it was sad, and it was heavy. And I don't think it did well. A lot of people was complaining because when you watch TV, you want to be uplifted. You want to have fun and laugh and be like talking back at the TV. And you didn't get that from them because it was dark, it was sad, and it was heavy. But because I'm a fan, I'll still watch the show. And I'm glad that the show is coming back with a bang. I mean, with a bang. You hear me? It's like the sisters are really doing it. I love when they're happy and they're in a good place and they're spending the night and having a pajama party and they dancing and they singing. But it is good sometimes to have a sprinkle of fights. And right now, they're not in a good place. And before, Tamar was always the villain. But Tamar has a say-so over production and what's going on. And she's showing you guys behind the scenes that no, she is not the villain. Okay? So that was basically what season 1 was about. Introducing them and what they're doing this season. And bringing up the fact that Tamar had a cease and desist because she invited her niece to talk on her platform. Okay, so the next episode 2, it goes into the niece was on Tamar's show, podcast. And she looks just like the Braxtons, honey. She's beautiful. They look alike. She looks just like her aunts. And so she goes on the show and she tells what happened. Now, while she's telling what happened, it shows Towanda and Trina talking. And Towanda's like trying to support Trina. And she's like, well, how do you feel about what's going on? And she was like, well, I hate that I don't want to talk about it, but I'm made to talk about it. And she was like, I'm just very, I just feel like people shouldn't talk about what's going on when somebody is deceased and can't defend themselves. I feel like if she needed more, she could have talked to me. My number has not changed. Her number has changed. And so Towanda is feeding into this. Well, you are a victim, And so, you're right. She the one that moved and didn't talk. She said she needed more from me than she should have told me. And my thing is this. I don't care if your husband is deceased. Gabe was a freak. Gabe cheated on Trina over and over and over again. And instead of having the compassion for her niece, instead of saying her niece should have reached out to her, she was the real victim. And Trina should have reached out to her niece. Okay? And said, girl, oh my God, I'm sorry that this happened to you. And give her the love and compassion and support. Not, she could have called me. My number has not changed. And because she did not do that, give her niece the support, it sounded, because Trina had divorced her husband and then remarried him. And she divorced her husband, and we didn't know why she divorced her husband. We knew it had to do with infidelity. But we didn't know that he SA her young niece. Now, I believe she's 32 or 33 today, but she was like 17 when this happened. And I remember they separated. She went into another bedroom, and she was doing her own thing, but they were still in the same house. And I remember when they started working it out, and she had remarried him, and the family was talking about her like a dirty dog. And they should have. Because she did it, they was having problems because he SA'd the niece. And then she had the nerve to remarry this monster, this freak. And then people wanted to cancel the show. They was like, well, the Braxtons should be canceled. She should be canceled. But no, I wasn't agreeing on canceling, because let me tell you something. Being SA'd by somebody's family member is something that happens on a regular basis in people's families. And I'm sorry, Trina is not the only one that defends the man and not the victim or the family member. It's people that they own mamas defended a boyfriend for messing around with her daughter. Put her daughter out for messing around because she got SA'd by her own daddy. And these women take up for their men and act like their daughter is lying and they're a child. And so this needed to come out, because this is something that happens on a regular basis, and it's a lot of women that defend these raggedy men. And she's no different. Now, they're saying that in the Braxton family, that goes on. You can't tell people how to stop talking. You can't tell nobody to stop talking about it. You can't tell people how they need to heal or how fast they need to heal. Only thing you can do is be supportive. And so she appreciated her aunt Tamar being supportive and giving her the platform to talk about it where she can help others. She didn't do it to make Trina feel bad. She didn't do it to put shame on her family. She did it for herself. And that's what Tamar said. She said, well, how do you feel about the family? How do you feel about them knowing and how they feel about what you're saying? She said, I don't care about how they feel. I'm only caring about how I feel. This is my story. So basically, that's what that was about. And then Towanda is getting married. As she said 100 times, she's getting married. And Tamar talked about how Towanda gave her an invitation to the wedding and offered and wanted her to be a maid of honor. And she said she accepted, but then she never heard anything else from Towanda. Towanda is supposedly having I believe she's having a bridal shower, and she's having it in I think she's having it in Mexico or something like that. And on the way to the bridal shower, to the airport, she got hit by a car. And so she goes to emergency room and all of the things. And Toni calls her up, and Toni had already told her she couldn't make it. She has a concert to do. And Toni was like hoping she would change the date because then she could probably go. And she said, no, I know I just got hit by a car, but I'm going to my bridal shower. And she explains how in her first marriage, she never had a wedding. She never had anything. And so she's excited to have a wedding and go through what Bryce go through because she never experienced that. And I get it. I do understand. So she goes to the bridal shower in another country, in, I believe, Mexico. And Trina's there. And the question is Tamar coming? And so she's sitting there sounding all sad. You know, I support all my sisters when they got married. I helped them. I did this. And it's just sad that my sisters aren't coming. I don't think Tamar is coming. I haven't heard from Tamar, you know, and it's just kind of sad that I'm always there for people and they're not there for my sisters, are not there for me. First of all, Toni, the living legend, is busy, okay? Busy working and making her coins. Tamar is busy working and making her coins. Trina, on the other hand, is not real famous like that. And so these girls are working. But they go over to Tamar, and Tamar is talking to one of the producers, and he's asking her, are you going to your sister's bridal shower? Because what we had to do is cancel. And so she said, oh, it's canceled? So she said, yeah, so you got time to go. And she was like, it's like, she asked me to be the maid of honor, which I was really surprised. I haven't heard from her. She only called me or talked to me when we're in production and filming. But off camera, she don't talk to me. So I don't understand why I was maid of honor unless it was some type of setup to make me look bad. And she hasn't mentioned anything to me about going on. Yeah, she did. After that, the next thing was her bridal shower. If I made an honor, shouldn't I have been a part of helping her with her bridal shower? So I really don't want to go. And so he was like, that's your sister. You got time to go. You need to go. So she was like, you know what? I'll go if you go. And he said, no, I'm not going. This is your sister. You need to go. So then she says, you know what? She's trying to make me look bad. I'm going to go. So behind the scenes, before they show behind the scenes, they're at the bridal shower. And she steady saying, you know, I knew Tamar wasn't going to come. You know, she never shows up for me. And she's bad-mouthing Tamar. And then behind the scenes, the producer talking to her. And he's telling her Tamar is coming. She's coming. And she was like, I don't want Tamar here. I don't want Toni here. I don't want them to steal my thunder and take the shine up off of me. I don't want them here. I don't want Tamar here. Tell her I don't want her here. So he go back and tell Tamar, and Tamar's like, see, I knew this was going to happen. She don't want me. She didn't want me for no maid of honor. She just want to make me look bad. But as you can see, she didn't want me to come no way. And I was like, wow. And so Towanda is what you call the snake. And guess what? Tracy always said she was a snake.
You're a snake, and you like controversy.
And she is a snake. You sitting up on TV acting like you want her there and acting all sad and disappointed. Then when they say she coming, you telling her not to come. Even if she came at the last minute and said, I'm coming at the last minute. If you wanted her there, then she should have been there. But she didn't want her there. Okay, so then we're going to go to season 3, honey. And season 3, Miss Evelyn, honey, she ended up being in the hospital. Something was wrong with her heart, and they had to put some stents in it. And she didn't tell nobody about it. She told her grandson, Tamar's son, about it, and he went and told everybody. And so, honey, what killed me is, oh my God, she looked like a corpse laying in a hospital bed. She had so much makeup on. She even had red lipstick on. And all your daughters is barefaced, coming to see you, and she laying in the bed like this, with all this makeup on. Girl, get out of here. Get out of here. She doing way, way too much. And, you know, when you're an older person, lady, yeah, you should continue to look good in all of the things. She has too much surgery. And she lost a whole lot of weight. And she had the nerve to have a pound of makeup on and ruby lips in her hospital bed. Where they do that at? And all the sisters came together, and Toni stopped her production. She had in Vegas, I guess she had a practice or whatever. She stopped it all. Everybody stopped to see their mother, of course. And the mama wakes up, and she's like, where am I at? And it was like, you in the hospital. They said something was wrong with your heart. And anyway, later on, they asked her why you didn't tell us. And she had the nerve. I think Evelyn is so mean. She kind of a mean lady. I don't understand why they asking me why I didn't tell them. Do I have to tell them all my business? Well, if you're going to end up in the doggone hospital, I would think so. And so the girls, they go to Towanda's bridal shower, and the mother's there, and Trina's there, and her friends are there. And again, she's talking about how her sisters didn't show up for her. So they go to the bridal shop, and I'm sorry, she just looked a mess with her head. She just don't have the face for it. And her head is like long, and she's coming out with this little bridal thing on her head, headband, and she just came out with this ugly dress, and she's trying to act like Bridezilla. Well, no, we don't have a week. We only have we don't have a couple of months. We only got a couple of weeks to have my dress ready. And she did come out a second time with this skirt, and it was beaded. It was purple. She wanted purple and chocolate. I don't understand why she wanted purple and chocolate, but it's her wedding. And the skirt was cute. The skirt was cute. But she just should have put a wig on her head. I can't keep saying this. She should have just put a wig on her head. She wears it when she goes out every other time. And so that was cute, the skirt she had. And so it looked like it's going to be all right. And so Trina husband, before the mama went to the hospital, Trina husband had to leave the bridal shower trip and go to her husband because he had I don't know if he had a heart attack, but it was a heart attack scare, something like that. And he said he was like up to 300 and something pounds. That's a big man. And then by the time they drained him the water, he was back down to 275. So he really had a lot of water on him. And they said if you would have drank a beer and went to sleep, baby, you weren't going to wake back up. And did he know he was bloated? You could tell by your hands and feet and your body if you blew up to 300 and something pounds from 275. So they're on a health kick now. He's like, I got to get myself together. I'm not finna go out like this. This really scared me. And Trina need to lose weight too. And so she was like, well, yeah, we got to eat better and all of the things. So she started throwing out stuff, her food in the house. And she wasn't throwing it out, but she was going to give it to her sons. And he had a hard time with that, but she was calling the shots. And so she was working with that. And then with her mom, it was just a lot going on with Trina. So, after that, they did show Towanda's soon-to-be husband. And, you know, they were talking about the wedding and all of that. And the bottom line is she was like, if Tracy was here, Tracy would be very supportive. But do we know Tracy would be supportive? Tracy didn't really like her man she married. And the man that she married don't have no money. He's broke. A broke down looking R. Kelly. And so she didn't like him, so I don't know how supportive she thought she was going to be. But the bottom line is they all met up for lunch, okay? The sisters. And they want to sit up and get down to the bottom of what's going on with them, why they're not getting along. Tamar was happy to come because she wanted to understand why they put a sis and deceased on her. And so they get there and she told Towanda, it just started popping up. She was like, Towanda, you didn't want me to be in your wedding. And so it turned out she asked everybody to be a maid of honor, which what sense does that make? And she was like, well, you didn't even want me to come to your bridal shower. I heard you didn't want me there because I was coming. And she was like, who told you that? I'll wait. Who told you that? I'll wait. That's not true. That's a lie. And that woman was lying. We saw it on camera. And so she was like, well, first of all, you don't call me. You don't come by my house. She said, I don't even know where you live. And she said, well, I know where you live because I put the down payment on your house. And not only that, you've been stealing off my credit card for years. And she was like, and you've been stealing. And she was like, stealing what? What have I been stealing? I don't steal. You stole your sister Toni man, her boyfriends. You've been stealing and sleeping with. And she was like, that is not true. That's a lie. I heard you slept with him. That wasn't me. You're a liar. And honey, Trina was looking like, she done put you in your place, a bitch. Okay? So her and Toni got into it. And Toni was like, I didn't do no sister deceased. And honey, Toni jumped up, baby. She jumped her light behind up and got in Tamar's face. And baby, they act like they was finna throw, she was like she was finna throw some blows. And that's how it ended. Okay? So I'm sitting on my couch like, wow, girl, no. Little Toni jumping up, she lightweight, but she heavyweight. She said she was a heavyweight. Heavyweight jumped up, baby, and was about to whoop some behinds. So that's how it ended. I just feel like Tamar is showing that she not the villain. They made her the villain when she was doing the Braxton family values. And she was like, not today. Not today. Now, I don't believe that that Tamar slept with Toni, man. I don't believe that. Because they're very close. Toni is like a mother to her, okay? She helped raise her. She babysitted her. I don't believe it. I think Towanda is on some shh. Because Towanda got called out as a thief. And they also said in the news before that Towanda stole her mama Social Security check. So girl bad, girl whack. You ain't doing nothing. You married an old raggedy man that can't even help you. At least Trina married her a millionaire, okay? Trina man got money. Even Gabe was old nasty, low down dude, but he had money. Towanda don't have nothing, ain't never had nothing, married men that don't have nothing. I think Towanda is jealous of Tamar, and that's the problem. She's jealous of her, period. She's prettier. She's more famous. She work, baby. She keep working. And Towanda thought maybe she was going to do things in life and blow up, and she did not, okay? So I think it's all about jealousy. So Tamar had married Vince, and he was rich. I remember when she used to take them shopping and tell them to pick out one thing, and she banned all this, and they all looking all stupid. You know what I mean? So, yeah, she's jealous of her, period. And so that's how it ended. That's all I got. Season 4, episode 4, we'll talk about next week. So, you tell me in the description, what did you think about Towanda and Tamar? Do you think Tamar slept with Tony's sister? Tony's man? Boyfriends? Do you think Towanda is jealous of Tamar? Let me know what you think in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.